Hi everybody, welcome to the dungeon. My name is Robin and today is Flameworking 102.38. Today I'm going to be using the shard that I made in our Just a Shard demo, and I will put that video at the end of this video, the link if you wanted to check that out. But this time I'm going to show you how to apply shards, specifically the Reichenbach Multicolor Shard, and this color is one of the most magical colors I've ever used. And Reichenbach does have a couple other colors that are similar, so if you can't find this one, maybe you can find these others. Either way, it's just a spectacular color. I can't say enough about it, so let's get right into this demo. As always, I hope you're all doing safe and well out there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time in the dungeon. All right, we're going to start everything out with a little bit of black. And because I'm not going to be coating this bead in clear, I want a good amount of black to build up the base for this bead. So I'm going to start out by making sure my mandrel is nice and hot. And then I'm going to very quickly just get my first layer of glass on there. And I got about a little bit more than an inch worth of glass on the mandrel here. Of course, it can be whatever color you want and whatever size and length you want. I'm just going to finish my edges here and then do a second coat of black just to begin to build up the amount of color I need. And we'll just go ahead and fill in a little bit there. And then I'll spend a little bit of time just heating gently and really melting everything in. I'm working in the center and then kind of working my edges a little bit. I will add more black here because I want this to be a larger bead. But before I do that, I do want to melt everything down so I don't trap any bubbles inside. So a little bit more shaping. Usually I do my edges first and then kind of work my way into the center. I don't know why I didn't do that this time, but either way, I'm just looking to get back into a nice shape here. Okay, and here is our third and last layer of black, and this will be enough to kind of give the bead you know, the amount that it needs for the size that I'm looking for. All right, and then a good amount of heating here to melt all of that in. And then once I have all of this melted and looking good, I am going to add a little bit more color here because I did several of these with different colors, and I thought maybe this opal or yellow opal would look good underneath these shards, and I was not disappointed. This yellow opal and the black together just really made these shards pop with the colors. It was just really beautiful. I wish I had started with the yellow because it just looks amazing underneath the multicolor shards. So let's go ahead and start picking some shards up. I have a whole bunch laid out already. And so what I'm going to do here is just heat specific areas. Get one area nice and hot and then just go over there and lay my glass on top of one of the shards. And make sure it is there long enough for the shard to start melting in. And then it's very simple. I'm just going to kind of heat it up a little bit and start to flatten things out on top of the bead. The edges will curl in a bit if you're not careful. I didn't mind too much because the way this shard broke, it was very circular. Lots of curves on this shard, and I really enjoyed that. So let's pick up the rest of these. And if you don't have a butter knife, you can easily heat these up and just flatten them out with your graphite rod or paddle. All right, we're going to pick up another one here. These shards also look great on top of ivory. And in the very end, you will see a few extra beads. One I did with black and ivory, and then another one I did with just ivory. So you'll see the difference in those two. Now, another way you can add your shards is just to heat up your glass and heat up just the edge of a shard if it's a large one, and just add it right to your bead. And then in the back of the flame, you can gently start to heat and get that shard to melt over the surface. You do want to be a little careful here. You might get a couple of little bubbles underneath. Sometimes that can look great. I'm not worried about that on this bead at all. So the more interesting effects I can get, the better. And then I just want to let you know that I'm picking this shard up upside down. So all of the shards, they're kind of slightly curved up. So what you end up seeing is the inside of the shard instead of the outside. And I just wanted to spend a few more minutes getting the rest of these shards picked up in any bare spot that I think it needs to be. One more to go here. And you can already see the shard changing colors. All right, now it's time to give this a nice full heat. And I'll go ahead and use my little marvering pad there to kind of just melt everything down and push all the glass in so everything is nice and smooth. This Reichenbach Multicolor Dark is a kind of expensive color. You have to buy it per rod. So I kind of think that using this color as a shard is really helpful and more economical. Anyway, I'm just throwing down some fine clear frit here because I love the way the clear frit can give the color a mottled look. So I'm going to kind of pick up a few little stripes of the clear frit on two sides. You can add the frit wherever you want, and in the final pictures you see two extra beads that I made that has a lot more of the frit on it, so you can see how the frit interacts with the shard. It's really amazing. All right, you can see the clear on there. Clear frit is so fun to use. It can give any color a beautiful mottled effect, and I just love it, and I will use it some more in the future. But for now, I just want to start to heat all of this up and get ready to press it down into a more of a tabular bead. What also I find interesting here is that when you quickly cool down certain colors like this multicolor, the quick cooling action I find helps to bring some of those colors out. Now here, after I flatten it, I want to flatten it one more time. I usually flatten twice because the first time I flattened, sometimes it's not perfectly flat. So I always like to flatten twice to make sure that everything is nice and even. And you can already see more of those colors appearing after that quick cooling. But the quick cooling can leave chill marks on the surface of your glass. So at this point, I am very quickly, or slowly actually, heating out those chill marks starting from the bottom of the bead, working my way up so nothing melts. And then I blow on it real quick just to cool that down before I go to the other side. And we're getting close to the end here. And as I'm letting this cool down, you can see those beautiful colors emerging. And I thought that I needed something extra on this bead. So I'm just going to be adding a pattern of dots here. And a lot of times I will kind of work off the cuff. I didn't have any set design or drawing for this bead. Sometimes I like to have a drawing, but this time I just was kind of working, in the moment. So I thought putting all these dots on here would be real nice to frame the bead out. And I'm going to add some more to the opposite side here. And I'm using a pre-made clear stringer. And I heard that France just got in a big shipment of clear, so hopefully they will have stringers of clear available if you're looking for any. And then I'm just going to fill in a little bit more just to give it the extra added interest that I like, and some really great texture as well. Plus, the clear dots will magnify the colors underneath, which I really enjoy to see. And we are just about done here. I'm going to add a few more dots. Again, if you're interested in making shards, I will leave a link at the very end of this video for you to check out. I made this shard in that video, so you can see that. And that is it. I am just in love with this color. I hope you are too. Let me know what you think. And I hope to see you next time in the dungeon.